Give it up for day 15 of No Ban List. Now make sure you guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more Oz content. Memes and haha funnies aside. We are halfway through January at this stage, and we have no ban list. And I mean, I guess at this point in time, we have, I wanted to talk about, kind of how things are shaping up right now with, no ban list, current meta perception, and things that we're kind of perceiving right now. So earlier in the week, we did get the reveals on the Charmer Structure deck, 1-1 for the OCG. Wasn't all that surprising. We do know that we are going to see, additional Charmer stuff entering into the fray. We know that everybody will have access to Horus cards off of this deck, which is actually a good thing because in Maze coming out in February, you're going to get that new Dark Magician stuff. So there were two things that you could do to turbo up the Dark Magician combo line. You can do, at the Dark Magician combo line. Yeah, you can either play the Shining Sarcophagus, Dark Magician Girl package, or you can just simply use an Imseti, because Imseti is a spellcaster himself, plus the Sarcophagus being activated. Guess what? You can turn Imseti into the Dark Magician and basically be able to go down and do combo line that way. You have variations of the things that you're able to do, and I kind of think that's one of the cool things. Also, before we go too much further, I gotta give a shout out to Primal TCG. Ooh, ta-da! You guys should definitely check them out. We just got done opening up some product you'll see here soon on the channel, but I thought that was really, really cool. So they're setting the stage for the Horus package. Also, Zombie Vampire is in there. If you guys truly think that Zombie Vampire is going to go away when we're getting a reprint for it, it's unfortunately not going to happen. I was very, very for seeing Zombie Vampire leave the game because it is one of those cards that, two Mitsurugi monsters makes it, and it would allow you to pivot into Yummy combo off of the mill. Yes, I know that there's an RNG aspect to it. You got to mill the Yummy monster in order to pivot back into it, but it's just Yummy combo can pivot into it through Herald and Gravity. And then the same thing can happen that you can make the two Mitsurugi monsters and reverse engineer into Yummy. It allows you to come full circle most of the time, but not all of the time. So there is this. I mean, even though, we're not seeing that ban list, I mean, there's a lot of high impact that's coming down from the top based on the Horus reprints and based on what is going to be arriving in Maze here. Now, a lot of the consensus is, honestly, at this stage, we might not see a ban list until March. And the reason for this is just kind of as follows. We have the Mitsurugi product rolling out at a much later date, which Konami wouldn't want to hurt the sales on that, right? And that's fine. But there's also a lot of events coming down here in the future, and it would make sense for Konami to want to use Blade or Burst Protocol as a benchmark to ship the set. Now, I mean, realistically, what's going to change? I mean, the game, I don't know how much you think Forbidden Crown can change the game, but I mean, it is highly possible that Forbidden Crown is going to make a pretty big, extensive impact. I mean, it would make sense for that to actually be, one of the big game changers. There's also the possibility of the dinosaur archetype, making a difference. You've also got to remember, we should be heading into reveals very, very shortly. It should be within the next week or so that we should be seeing the highlights of what's to come with this future set, because those dinosaur cards, the Mad Scientist Dino Rars, those guys are going to have to put in a lot of work on their first impact of release to change the game on the level that Mitsurugi did. Mitsurugi did it very, very easily. You're asking a lot for these dinosaurs to make this level of impact that we had previously saw at Mitsurugi. It's realistically not going to happen. And there's not a lot of excitement that I feel like Konami can pump into this. The only variables of surprise are going to be usually the 9 to 10 TCG exclusive cards that are not usually factored into this. But they're pushing Genesis format now, so unfortunately, these cards are probably going to be catered to trying to make Genesis format have some different variables and different options. As much as I would love to see some excitement and some, power-ups to, actually scale the game, unfortunately, I realistically don't think that that's going to make much of an appearance at this current juncture. I mean, it'd be really cool to see, another card like Garua come out of nowhere, but we can't keep making super poly targets to make super poly better. We can't keep relying on these same initial tools to try to change the game in different directions. It's just not very viable at this stage. And of course, I mean, you still have the Mitsurugi problem, which is going to persist. I mean, we've jokingly talked about that we might be seeing Mitsurugi stick around through this year's WCQ. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Don't even get me started on what looks like a lack of Mitsurugi support in Blazing Dominion, which is going to raise so many other questions that you're probably not prepared to have an answer for, which is, if there's no Mitsurugi support in this set, what does that mean for the TCG? Oh no. Could it mean exclusives? Oh, no. We're not touching that today. So there's a possibility. No ban list right now. A lot of the player base, as much as you want to put on the mask and go, I love this game, it is so awesome. We got to be a little bit more realistic when it comes to this sort of stuff. We can't always just put on the happy goggles and be excited for this. Which does remind me, somebody just messaged me and was asking me about why I've been playing Sky Striker lately, because they thought the deck was bad. I think we're at a point that people don't know that Sky Striker and other decks can board break. And if people have been disassociated from the game for a little while, you might not be familiar with just board breaker decks in general existing. We are in a point where there is way less negates existing in the course of the game, so it becomes a little bit easier to play decks that can disassemble and break down other decks. Look what Mitsurugi can do with their board wiping effect. They do have tools and things to be able to clean up boards and be able to take advantage of this. And Sky Striker, with as much as it draws and as much power that it has also now with the Fallen and Virtuous, being able to slam down and clean up boards through that, the deck can very easily do this. I mean, is Sky Striker going to be able to consistently do it? No. The minute your opponent makes you go first, you kind of are like, oh boy, can't wait to go Shizuku pass and put myself into a subpar game state. It's not that it's a viable scenario. It's just, it does create some scenarios where you're just like, man, if only I could have opened up slightly better. You don't have spiritual water at Owies at this point. You don't have tools really to go first. You kind of have to put all your eggs in one basket and just kind of cruise control to going second. It's viably what it is. So those of you who watch this, welcome to day 15. We still don't have a ban list. Realistically, it's looking like we might not get one for a while. As much as, Yummy and Harold are both, well, Harold's been the annoying part. Konami, I guess, wants to clutch onto that card and allow it to continue to kind of stick around and, let it do its thing. And it's pretty annoying, to say the least. I mean, I'd like to see a little bit of a power scaling down. I'd like to see, a reduction in something Yummy and something in Mitsurugi, but one hand shit in the other, which one weighs more? I'll give you an answer. It's the turd. Realistically, it's just probably not going to happen at this stage. But we will be getting, the meta will be changing. You can complain about getting Forbidden Crowned and having your Yummy monster lock itself on the field while your opponent Lunalight battles over it. That's going to be a very exciting thing. A lot of people are going to be upset about that. You'll be able to save your monster, but your opponent can... The point is crown. You can crown your monster, or your opponent can crown your monster, just to have something to attack into multiple times to win the game. Nobody talks about the crown's offensive capabilities. It's always defensive. And trust me, that crown is going to be a very, very nice, expensive secret rare, because at this point, it's probably the only card worth it in the set. But we'll see how the rest of the set kind of comes together. At this point in time, I think Maze is probably looking like the more exciting set, just because, you know, what's to come. But we'll see where it goes. So guys, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I very much look forward to seeing how the meta is about to shift, whether it be with a ban list or not. You guys have a good rest of your day, alright? Patrons! Thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.